I don't think it's possible to make any kind of meaningful change in your life if you don't have discipline. On the journey to self-discovery and just learning how to control your emotions at a higher level of awareness, discipline is going to be the number one tool that is going to help you get there. Every time you find yourself in a situation where you feel negatively or have negative thoughts, you have to have the discipline to redirect yourself into a more positive space. And the discipline is just this subtle shift of energy. It's deciding that you want to feel better and then allowing yourself the space to release whatever it is that's bothering you. About a year ago, I went to go get my hair cut, and the hairdresser was such a positive, happy person. And I'm like, I just really love your energy. And she was like, I just decide to be happy. And it was like such a perfect time for me to hear that message, because I was talking to her and I was like, I mean, it sounds so easy. You just decide to be happy and so everything's fine. And she's like, yeah, I just decide that I want to be happy, and then I allow myself to be happy. And I don't think I really understood how that worked until this point in my life, because the Brooklyn a year ago was like, yeah, I want to be happy, but I don't know how to be happy. You know, I can't just snap my fingers and just be like, oh, okay, well, everything that's been bothering me mentally, or, you know, people or situations that really irritate me, they don't disappear. So how can I choose to be happy when I can't get rid of this stuff? The discipline is really just saying, I'm going to let this go, and then letting it go. It's the determination that you want a better life for yourself and you want to be a better person. And you have to be able to choose love every time. You have to be able to choose positivity every time. Choose self-love, choose self-care, choose, you know, being kind toward others, choosing to be respectful, and choosing to just be in a higher vibration every single time you have the opportunity to adjust the way that you're thinking. You know, you have to be very aware of yourself, and that's a lot of discipline, to focus on how you're feeling, what you're thinking, how you're reacting to things, how you're perceiving situations, and asking yourself if it's for the benefit of you and those around you. And if it's not, then you say, okay, well, I'm going to take charge, and because I'm in control, I'm going to take charge because I'm in control, and I'm going to make this better for myself. I'm going to make this experience as positive as possible. Whenever you're making a change in your life that involves you changing behavioral patterns that you've been used to for a very, very long time, discipline is the only way you are going to meet your goals or get to where you're trying to get to. It's true that old habits die hard because it's our comfort zone. And when we are expanding and growing, we have to get out of that comfort zone. And we have to push through the discomfort, the uneasiness that we might feel, or the apprehension, or the uncertainty, and just being consistent in creating a new pattern for ourselves. And that consistency is the discipline. The discipline is the push in the right direction that you have to give yourself every single time, and no one can do it for you. So you have to be committed to yourself. You have to be your coach. You have to be your motivator. You have to be your number one fan in this. That discipline really has to come from an honest place of, yes, I want this, and I will do whatever it takes to get myself there. I think the difficult part is waiting for those emotions, those sensations of anger or frustration or fear or anxiety to just pass. For example, anger. You know when you're angry and you just have like the fire inside of your belly, just right in your gut, and you're just, you want to express it, you know, and your adrenaline's pumping, and there's something inside of you that just needs to release that negative energy, that angry energy. The discipline in a situation like that is to say to yourself, you know what, I know that I want to feel better, I want to live in a positive place. I know that the sensations of anger are within me, but I know that they are not who I am, and I have the power to redirect my energy into something else. So at that moment, you can just think about literally anything that's neutral enough or positive that will help raise your vibration into something that's more calm or better feeling. And while you're focusing on whatever that is for you, those feelings of anger are still going to be there, and the discipline comes in allowing yourself to not react and allowing yourself to just feel it release and let go, like just feel it empty out of your body. And if you just wait a few minutes, it will go away and you'll feel so much better. And you'll be like, wow, look at the power that I have. I can control myself. The thing about emotions is this: we are in total control of our emotions. You know, with our minds, yeah, we're in control of our thoughts. We can choose different things, but like there's information that we're constantly absorbing, and people can give us information, and that can sort of alter how we think about things. And, you know, physically people can do things that kind of alter the way we move about, but emotions is only up to us, only up to us. Sometimes it does feel like people control our emotions, but that's not the case. Other people affect our emotions when we give our power away to what's happening externally. But when we are living in full control and like full awareness of what's going on within us, and we understand ourselves to the highest degree, it's like nothing that happens around you can unsettle you, you know? When you're in unfavorable situations, or when you're interacting with people who are kind of bringing the energy down, you realize that it has nothing to do with you. So you're able to allow those things to sort of happen around you without it affecting who you are on the inside. When someone's nasty to you, you have the discipline to say, well, I know that that has everything to do with how they feel and nothing to do with me, and I'm still good, and you know, that has no kind of control over how my day is going to go. Then you're free to move about and, you know, not be affected by that. When you're in a situation that didn't go the way that you thought it was going to go, you have the wisdom in your heart to say, everything happens for a reason, and, you know, let's just keep seeing where this goes, and I'm not so caught up on my expectations of what this is supposed to be that, you know, it's creating disharmony within myself. So you're able to stay calm and stay focused and stay in tune with your higher self and that place of love and just peace. You know, you just carry this peace along with you everywhere you go. But it takes the discipline to decide that you want that. You have to have that level of self-control to keep yourself where you need to be. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. If you just imagine like you have a path. Every time you get into a situation where things get kind of rocky, there's a path. You can take the old way, which takes you down the path of, you know, misery or whatever the case may be. And then you have this new path that's like, oh, this is going to be great, and there's sun is shining, there's butterflies down this path. Which path are you going to take? And so the discipline comes in just choosing to take the better road every time. And then once you start walking down that road, you don't have to try as hard because you're kind of already there. But it just takes that decision to go that way, and you know, it'll start happening a lot more easily. It's that moment of choosing that is the most important part. And the discipline comes in choosing love every time. Choosing the road of love, choosing the road of compassion, choosing the road of joy, choosing the road of understanding and patience, choosing the road of truth and honesty and integrity. Those things for me embody love. Love to me is whatever choice that is in most alignment with source energy or God or, you know, whatever higher being you believe in or the universe. It's that deep unconditional love that's inside of you. And every time you make a decision that reflects that love, then you'll always be on the right path. But, you know, when you choose to react to things that don't serve you, or when you decide to participate in things that don't serve you, or when you choose to hang on to negative things, that's not love, because you're not loving yourself in allowing yourself to feel badly, but you're also not loving the experience that's here. How many times have things happened to you where, you know, it was just like, oh, no, why? But then after you get through it and you can kind of see it more clearly in hindsight, in retrospect, you say, wow, that really taught me this, this, and this, or I became such a better person. I'm so thankful for that experience. And that's how you have to start seeing anything that happens to you. Every moment that you're moving through life is either teaching you a lesson or there for you to enjoy it. So if you're not in full alignment with the joy and the beauty and the wonderful things that life has to offer, then life is bringing you an experience to teach you something. So respect that and honor that and see what you can do to make the best out of it, because you'll always come out a better person for it. I'm someone who has not ever been very disciplined at all. If I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it. If I feel like I gotta force myself to do something, I'm not doing it. I've never been that sort of person, and I kind of thought that people who could be like, no, I'm just gonna sit down and do this right now, were like hard asses, like, wow, I don't know. I want to do something fun. I don't want to do something that I gotta force myself to sit down and do. But now that I understand what discipline is and I've used it to change how I feel on the inside, I apply that discipline to like everything in my life. It's so much easier for me to say, you know what? I know that this is a result that I want to see, and I know that I have to do X, Y, and Z to get there. X and Y might be fun, but Z might not be that fun. But I have the discipline and the self-control now that I understand what that is, I can sit down and make things happen. And when I see the results of putting in that little extra effort, that little extra time, that energy, it's just so much more rewarding, and life is just opened up for me in such an amazing way. So, discipline is obviously not just something that is really important for our inner work, but it's important to apply to everything that we do in order to create the life that we want to live. We are all capable of living our dream lives. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. But all it takes is changing our habits and changing how we invest our energy. Are we every day putting our energy into something that is going to bring forth what our best life holds for us? Think about what it is that you want to be in life, what you want to do in life, where you want to be in life, how you want to feel, and then start doing things that help you feel that way. It's always going to be a process, and the physicality of it all isn't going to change overnight, but what can change overnight is how you feel. Discipline is like the key to our ultimate manifestations. We have to have the discipline to train ourselves to feel like our best version. And when you can train yourself into controlling your emotions and feeling really good and feeling whatever it is that you want to feel in life at your best self, the way you imagine your best self feeling, then you will manifest your best life. Our emotions are our most powerful tools for manifestation. So if you think about it, if you feel bad, you feel negative, you feel miserable, then you're going to keep attracting things that help you feel that way. But if you feel really positive and really happy and really awesome, you're going to attract things into your life that help you feel positive and happy and awesome. And if you don't have the discipline to choose those good feelings every time, you're going to keep falling back into the pit of the negative stuff. And that's not what you want, and that's not what you deserve. So really take the time to learn how to be disciplined in the way that you feel, and choose things that help you feel like your best version. Even if you're not there yet, I understand that it's really difficult sometimes to get in that place of feeling before things happen. But if you can just find some time to just meditate and just imagine what it would be like to be living your best life, to be living in your dream home, to be driving your dream car, to have your dream career, to be in that dream relationship. How does it feel to you? And really just like imagine that that's where you are. You'll start to feel different. You'll start to cultivate those feelings of whatever it is that you're wanting, and pay attention to those and start deciding that those are the feelings that you're going to go after every single day, every single moment, every single opportunity that you have to stay in those places of good feelings and good vibrations. That's the discipline that's going to get you your best life, hands down. Someone can sit on this side of the camera and tell you, well, I did this and it worked for me and the results were amazing, but nothing is really going to help you see the truth in it until you see it for yourself. You have to see it for yourself, because I've been on the other side of this camera, and I've had the impatient attitude of like, well, it's easy for you to say you did it. You're already good. But when I was just like honest with myself and like, hey, you know what? If I want something to change, I gotta change. I have to change. If nothing changes, nothing changes, right? So when I took that responsibility on myself and I started working on being disciplined, it was a slow process. It was very frustrating sometimes because it was not something that I was in the habit of doing. But once I did and I started to feel different and started to feel more motivated, it was like it just starts snowballing. Just something as simple as just writing in a gratitude journal. I'm so thankful for this. I'm so thankful for that. And you'll start to see a shift in yourself and the way that your days go. There'll be unexpected, pleasant surprises and unexpected opportunities and new ideas, and just life sort of opens up for you and you start noticing it. A lot of times we have all of these beautiful, wonderful things to experience, but we don't notice it because we're so caught up in our negative thinking, or we're caught up in like feeling so bad about stuff that we have these blinders on to everything that's going really well. So when you start shifting yourself into a more positive place, you're able to see all of that awesome stuff that's actually happening, and it's like, wow, like life is changing, but it's not really changing. You're just shifting what you're paying attention to. You're fine-tuning yourself to a different level of what's happening. It's not like that stuff wasn't there for you before. It's just you weren't allowing it to come into your life because you were so preoccupied with something else. All it takes to live your best life and to be your best version is having enough love for yourself to cultivate the type of discipline that it takes to make you feel the way that your highest version feels, which is always in a loving state. You should always feel love, peace, joy, happiness, just like openness to the world. And if you don't feel those things, there's something inside of you that you need to adjust, and you need to tune into more of a loving vibration. Because love doesn't hurt, love does not feel fear, love does not feel hate, love does not, hold on to things and sadness and all of those things that just weigh us down. That's not love. So if you love yourself, know that when you don't feel good, you have to focus on yourself. You have to give yourself that time and attention, comfort yourself, ease yourself into a more comfortable state of being. But it's the discipline to decide that you don't want to feel bad anymore. I understand what it's like to feel like, I'm just frustrated and angry and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that positive stuff right now. I know exactly what that feels like, and it's really frustrating for someone to come up to you and try to talk some positive stuff when you are just like, no, I'm ready to fight somebody, I'm ready to argue, I'm ready to, just shut down. But the discipline comes in saying, you know what? I know I feel these feelings very strongly, but it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me, and I want better. And just like giving up that fight. Just let go of that discomfort, that dis-ease within you. And just say, you love yourself too much to go down that road. So, switch gears and do something that feels good, feels positive. Go for a walk, just sit quietly. Watch some TV that makes you feel better. Do anything that it takes for you to get out of that place. And then when you're able to feel better about like letting that stuff go, then start moving more positively. See what else you can do and start building off of that positivity. And you'll come to find that it's really something that's such an easy, subtle thing for you to adjust on the inside in order to get there. And it's just like having the discipline to do what you need to do to put yourself back in that state of love. Be disciplined enough with yourself to choose love every time. If you do that, everything in your life will become so beautiful, and people will notice, you will notice, people will notice, everything will change. I think a great way to start building that discipline is having a gratitude journal and writing in it in the morning and then at night. Just spend like 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. Thank you for, a peaceful night's sleep. Thank you for letting me wake up in good health. Thank you for having a place to sleep, and thank you for this brand new day. I'm just so excited. Thank you for all of the wonderful things that are going to happen for me today, because I know that there is so much good in this day for me. Just start thinking like that and start writing it down. Even if you don't necessarily fully believe it yet, the more you start writing things like that, the more you'll sort of put yourself in that vibration to expect those things to happen to you. And you'll start to see like your energy will shift and your days will become better. And if you can have the dedication to stick with that, just give it a month. If you can find the discipline to do that once in the morning and once in the evening, I guarantee you, you will have leaps and bounds of transformation. And it may not be on the outside, but it's going to be on the inside. And when you feel good on the inside, that's when stuff starts happening on the outside. And so you'll start recognizing your power and you'll want to do it more. So just try something like that, try to be disciplined in one really good thing that puts you in a good place. And also, I think gratitude journals are fantastic for people who find it difficult to sit down and be still enough to meditate for a while. I used to be like that. I could not sit down enough because my mind was just so loud and I needed something active to harness that rogue energy. And something else that I really love doing is walking meditations. Put on some headphones, put on some meditation music, and just walk outside in nature and just focus on your breathing. You don't have to sit still in a quiet room. It doesn't have to be that if you don't feel like you can focus enough in that sort of space. I recommend that you're able to get there at some point, but if you're just starting, don't be hard on yourself and don't feel like there's these expectations for you to like float in lotus pose in complete silence. Don't worry about that. It's just about quieting your mind. And then when you're in situations where things are kind of getting hairy and out of control, if you can use that power to calm your mind, just like you do when you're walking around or when you're journaling really positive things, if you can just find that peace in those hectic times, then you have control. You have complete control over yourself, and then therefore you have complete control of your life, and you will be able to do anything that you want. Know that it's possible, and know that if you have the discipline to do it every single day, every single moment, repeatedly, choose love, choose a higher vibration, choose the highest path for you. You will be able to transform yourself, transmute yourself into somebody who you had no idea you could become. And that's something to appreciate so much. I used to be someone who held on to things, and I used to be someone who just was just really miserable because I was unable to shift my focus from what was happening that was bad, because I always wanted to be like in control of everything. And when something went wrong, no, I can't let it go because I have to fix it and I have to just work it and I have to digest it and keep going over and over it in my head. That doesn't help me. That doesn't make me happy. So now I'm a person that is able to just be free and just like, oh, it's okay. They're just instances, they're just moments, and a new moment's happening every second, and I'm just going to choose to find happier moments. And it's like I love my life. I love getting up in the morning, and I'm excited to see all of the evidence of the universe responding to my joy and my love and my happiness. Don't set yourself up for failure by thinking that everything's just going to change for you overnight, because it's not. And then when it doesn't, you'll just be discouraged, and then you'll quit and you won't keep going and you won't get anywhere. So you have to have that dedication, that discipline to every single day just keep going and keep choosing love and keep choosing what makes you feel good. Even if you don't see the evidence of it right away, it will come. But you have to give yourself time for those energies to kind of shift gears and go toward a more positive direction that you're putting it. You have to give it time, but when you're consistent with it and when you're committed to it, it will start happening for you. And then all of a sudden you'll just kind of wake up and be like, wow, like I guess, yeah, everything is like really good. I just feel better, and like things are starting to work out for me, and it's just, I don't know, it's just something's different. You'll notice, you will, but you have to stick with it. And it's not like you just flip a switch and it's done. It's something that, it's like you're transmuting yourself into a new version of yourself. You're releasing the old and then putting these new habits into place that will make you a different person, will make you your higher version, your best version. And it's going to take some getting used to. So give it time. Love yourself enough to Give yourself a fair chance to experience that. And once you do, you'll be sold. You'll understand everything that I'm saying right now is like you'll be able to witness it for yourself, and you'll see evidence of the universe unfolding for you in such miraculous and magnificent ways that you will be so happy that you dedicated yourself to your self-evolution and your self-improvement, and life will just become such a beautiful thing for you to experience. Life will no longer be something that you're surviving to get through, something happening to you. It'll be something that is this beautiful playground to create anything that you want to happen. Hey, you want to do this, you want to do that, you have the tools to do it, because you know that all you have to do is feel really good about that thing and be really positive and know that anything's possible, and just keep focusing on the success of getting there and seeing the results of whatever it is that you want, and it will manifest for you in whatever way possible. That is the law of attraction, and it's the most consistent law there is in the universe. The universe will deliver. You're in control. You're in total control. And that's why we can't give anyone else responsibility to make us feel better, or put it in anyone else's hands to fix things for us, or fix, whatever's going wrong in our life, because it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with how we feel and what we're putting out in the universe and what we're telling the universe to bring to us. So we have to get on it. We have to get on ourselves and be responsible, and we have to be accountable, and we have to be dedicated to our growth and disciplined enough to take charge and start creating our own path for everything that we want to experience here. Use your emotions as a compass, and if you're not feeling good, you're going in the wrong direction. So find a way to flip it. You have control. You can do it. Let go of the excuses. That is one of the biggest things. Be disciplined enough to let go of the excuses that you can't do it, because that's just you holding yourself back. It's just your mind and your fear holding yourself back from your greatest potential. So just be dedicated and choose love. Just choose love, right? If you can make choosing love feel easy to you, forget about it. You're good.